So there was a video that went viral this week. Where was it? Was in the state capitol, yeah, in Austin.
Yeah, it was at there was a group of Texas Muslims were doing a rally and over near the state capitol building, and a bunch of it's right up. I live in San Marcos, so that's like right up. Well, you
Yeah,
know,
it's like a
um,
15-minute drive up the road. So they were having a rally there. We've been there before, you and I.
mhm.
It's like a big
um,
open grassy area, and the Capitol's buildings there, and it's a pretty welcoming place. But apparently, the anti-Muslim groups weren't too happy that there was a group of Muslims there to rally.
yeah, there was one of the speakers at the rally was interrupted by this crazy woman who was backed up by a bunch of Tea Party supporters,
So the group was
and
the original group was Muslims of Texas or something, right?
mhm.
It was like a
I
political
don't know.
group.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, it was a political group for Muslims in Texas to organize and participate, and so they were interrupted by. Is the woman that interrupted, was she associated with any group, or was this just like random?
I think these were just. I think this was just a random group of assholes. They could have been associated with the group. They had American flags and a couple of the yellow "Don't Tread on Me"
Ah,
things
that's
that that's popular with the Tea Party.
God.
So I was embarrassed on three levels as a Christian, as a Texan, and a conservative. So
Yeah. Well, I got to be
um,
honest. I am always doubtful of a person. As soon as I see the "Don't tread on me" flag, I'm like, oh boy.
here we go.
Like, here we go. Don't tread on me. That
Well, it's not.
instantly mean it's not like the sign itself isn't a bad thing, but it's been commandeered by anybody who wants to say it like it is. I'm not an
Well,
asshole. I just say it like it is.
it's funny to me. They there was it was just it reminded me a lot of after the 9/11 attacks, how we had this like brief little period where there was solidarity between between conservatives and liberals in the country,
Right.
um, and we kind of had the same thing going on with the Charlie Hebdo shootings, where everybody for a brief second, everybody, it was trendy to have the thing J Sweet what is
Je
it,
suis Charlie.
J Sweet Charlie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but then even after there was controversy, even after they had that big rally in Paris, a lot of people, conservatives, were criticizing Obama over, why didn't we have somebody representing us over there? What does this mean? Are there
Oh, I
does
remember.
this mean, is the problem? Do we want to label the problem with Islam or with radical Muslims, or is a problem Western aggression, right? Western imperialism.
What made that even more what made that situation in over at Charlie Hebdo or the rally for peace and anti-terror in Paris? What made it really funny was that you would have conservatives on Fox News and they would say, "Where was Obama? Why doesn't Obama support France?" It's like, when was the last time a conservative ever cared at all about France until now. Now that France well, of course, France has always been anti-terror, but now that they are directly in the storyline of terrorism and the fight against radical jihad, suddenly they must be defended, and Obama's not doing a good enough job.
We're just trying to share the freedom fries, Will.
Just
We're
the
just trying
freedom
to share the
fries.
freedom fries with some
God,
friends.
did the freedom fries thing ever actually take off? Was that actually a thing, or was that?
I don't think it
I
was.
thought it was just in like the Capitol
with,
building, but it just became emblematic.
with a couple of idiots who just it doesn't matter the political ideology. There's going to be always someone who just takes things too damn seriously.
Joe, did you see this
That's
woman, the woman who interrupted? Did you see her other video, like her videos in the past? Like, she's
I
certifiably
heard about
crazy.
those.
Like, she had a video where she was looking at a monster can and like dissecting the can, not like physically, but like talking about each detail on the can, and was describing how each of the symbols were symbology of Satanism, and that monster energy was the work of Satan. Now, granted, why Satan needs you to be caffeinated in order to do his bidding, I'm not sure, but that was the idea.
well, if you're hyperactive and energetic, I guess you're not reading your Bible or going to
Yeah.
church.
You
I don't know.
can't be on your
I don't
knees
know. I
praying
always
if
know
you're
that
bouncing
when I go
around.
to a church, the two things I always look for in the front lobby is coffee and donuts.
Yeah, like well, even when I used to go to church, like dang, that was the best part. You'd go around and you like everybody be smiling and laughing and like shaking your hand, but like my eyes would be like, where are the glazed? Like, where, granted, I didn't drink coffee at the time, but juice or whatever, like, was the best.
Well, it doesn't matter the religion. There's always going to be jerks and idiots out there that, like I said, they just take things too damn seriously.
Yeah.
I think we do have a tendency, and I don't mean that in any sort of way, like equivalent. I'm sorry to. I'm not saying that Christianity is the same as Islam. I think that's another. They have separate doctrines, different traditions. I mean, they're religions. They respect the same figures, but they're different traditions. And I think what a lot of people are saying that Islam is the problem. There's a lot of different ways of saying that. You could point some of these terrorist attacks back to Islamic doctrines, or but in either case, um, I don't like the Bill Maher, the Sam Harris, the Thunderfoot.
Yeah, I guess the
Not
problem
that
is
the
that they
Thunderfoot's out there.
like the
Oh, I'm sorry.
problem
Go
is
ahead.
not
Go
that
ahead.
they criticize Islam, is that they kind of criticize Islam and they do it in a way that makes it sound like they're criticizing the people who practice Islam. So they don't say that the Quran has problems. They say that like Islam is infecting an entire group of people, which
Well, to say that the Quran has a problem, other of those three people that I mentioned would have to read it first. And I haven't either, so I'm not one. I
but
guess it's
don't
one
you? Well,
one
I mean,
one
I would
figure,
assume
but
Bill Maher hasn't read the Quran, but you don't. I think I'm confident Sam Harris has read the Quran. I mean,
um,
ultimately, if you want to find bad things or good things or neutral things or surprising things, you can dig through the Bible, you can dig through the Quran, you can dig through just about any holy book and find exactly what you want, no matter what angle you're coming at it from, because those books are full of stories of every stripe, both good and bad. And if you're looking to justify an ideology, you can do so.
this is a difference. This is the difference I see between Christianity and Islam, which is why it's almost a little bit, so the way some liberals look at the issue is almost equally just saying, well, there are fundamentalists in every single religion, so it's not if we just moderate Islam, the same sort of we can get rid of those problems like we did with Christianity. I think looking at Muslim states, I think there's a huge Muslim legal tradition similar to what you would have seen in the Old Testament that is wholly unique. But I guess in other words, another way of describing it, um, the difference between when a Muslim when a Christian says spreading the kingdom of heaven, there's a difference between that concept of how a Christian would see it as not a political realm, but as a community, just the community of believers, um, is different and distinct from. There's similarities, but I think Islam has a political element to it that you don't see in New Testament Christianity. Does that make
Mm.
any sense?
Right, because I mean, Muhammad himself, I mean, Jesus we see as this hippie wandering around the desert telling stories, but Muhammad was an active guy. He wasn't just sitting around telling stories, he was participating in war and making laws and doing things that would make him a an easily more easily applied to modern society if or to society, I guess you should say.
Yeah, and it's not a mistake. there's also like a reform element in Islam itself. Like they have it in I don't remember exactly what you call it, but okay, for example, Judaism. We would say the same thing you pointed out earlier, like in the Bible or in the Jewish Torah, there are things that where God smites people and causes all sorts of death and mayhem. But the Jewish system, they have a method of reform they call the Talmud, where the doctrines are changing and evolving with time. Islam has a similar thing, and they need to they have a similar thing to the Talmud, if I understand it correctly, in Muslim doctrine. And they might be at a point where they need to get past. I think they should embrace secularism